This is preliminary information, subject to change, and might contain errors. On November 1st, 2024, at about 21:04 local time, a Robinson R44 Raven II registered to Savant Aviation out of Kinder, Louisiana, November 6-2 Charlie Delta, was destroyed when it was involved in an accident near Iowa, Louisiana. The student pilot and two passengers, his wife and 2-year-old toddler, were all fatally injured. The flight most likely originated from the Chennault International Airport in Lake Charles, Louisiana. A preliminary review of the ADS-B data shows that the helicopter was first spotted on a flight tracking site at 20:55 local time north of Chennault International and climbing to an altitude of 1,000 feet, where it cruised for the remainder of the flight. Towards the conclusion of the track, at roughly 21:04 and 19 seconds, the helicopter initiated a right climbing turn, which was coupled with a drastic loss of ground speed values. The last three ADS-B returns showed 88 knots, 24 knots, and 66 knots ground speed respectively before the data terminated. The helicopter came to rest on a rural road very close to the last ADS-B return location. It was largely consumed by a post-crash fire. A review of the Federal Aviation Administration Electronic Airman Registry for the student pilot revealed that he held a student pilot certificate issued on March 8, 2024, and that he did not hold an FAA medical certificate. The limitation listed on the student pilot certificate states, carrying passengers is prohibited. 14 CFR Part 6189 discusses the limitations for student pilots and states that a student pilot may not act as a pilot in command of an aircraft that is carrying a passenger. The 2048 recorded weather observation at Chennault International included 10 miles visibility, a scattered cloud layer at 4,900 feet AGL, temperature of 22 degrees Celsius, dew point 21 degrees Celsius, and an altimeter setting of 3009 inches of mercury. The 2115 recorded weather observation at Chennault International included 7 miles visibility, a scattered cloud layer at 1,400 feet AGL and 4,900 feet AGL, temperature 22 degrees Celsius, dew point 21 degrees Celsius, and an altimeter setting of 2985 inches of mercury. The weather observations at the nearby Lake Charles Regional Airport were similar. According to the area forecast discussion released by the National Weather Service for the Lake Charles, Louisiana area at 21:04 local time, an old surface boundary will lift northward and wash out overnight into Saturday. A few showers will be possible as the first lifts north, otherwise the main story will be muggy conditions with low clouds and patchy fog. Current forecast is on track and no changes at this point. According to the aviation section of the discussion, which was issued at 18:15 local time, for the remainder of the night, the forecast issue will be low clouds and ceilings. With low-level moisture trapped underneath an old frontal inversion, expect low clouds to form during the evening and overnight, eventually falling through MVFR to IFR. Some patchy fog may also be possible due to some stratus build-down. According to the pilot's operating handbook, the helicopter was certified to be operated under Visual Flight Rules flight only. Review of the Robinson R44 Pilot's Operating Handbook, Safety Notice SN TAC 26, Night Flight plus Bad Weather Can Be Deadly, states, many fatal accidents have occurred at night when the pilot attempted to fly in marginal weather after dark. The fatal accident rate during a night flight is many times higher than during daylight hours. When it is dark, the pilot cannot see wires or the bottom of clouds, nor low-hanging scud or fog. Even when he does see it, he is unable to judge its altitude because there is no horizon for reference. He doesn't realize it is there until he has actually flown into it and suddenly loses his outside visual references and his ability to control the attitude of the helicopter. As helicopters are not inherently stable and have very high roll rates, the aircraft will quickly go out of control, resulting in a high-velocity crash, which is usually fatal. Be sure you never fly at night unless you have clear weather with unlimited or very high ceilings and plenty of celestial or ground lights for reference. Robinson's Safety Notice SN TAC 44 Carrying Passengers states, carrying passengers is an additional responsibility for the pilot in command. Passengers have placed their trust entirely in the hands of the pilot and should be advised of risks associated with the flight. Risks include pilot experience level, aircraft capability, and operational considerations such as flight over water or night flight. Carrying a passenger in and of itself increases risk because passengers add workload and distractions. The second section of the alert, titled Newly Rated Pilots, states, accident data shows that new pilots carrying passengers have high accident rates. The workload and distractions added by passengers are magnified for new pilots who may still be getting used to the aircraft and operating environment. Newly rated helicopter pilots should not carry passengers until accumulating 100 total hour helicopter experience, including 20 hours piloting command in the type after receiving their helicopter rating, should only fly in daylight with good VFR conditions and low winds. For the first several passenger carrying flights, should limit flight to local familiar area.